Hi everyone. My name. Hi everyone. My name is Edel. I think we're going to get started. We have a good few people in. I'm going to be presenting tonight's training on behalf of the Educational Trainings Board Schools National Parents Association. So we are going to spend some time tonight. We have an hour, but hopefully we'll finish a little bit sooner than that. We're going to talk tonight about parents associations. So as I said, I'm here tonight on behalf of the ETB Schools NPA. So what that organisation or that association is, they offer support and guidance and training to ETB schools and parents associations. They meet regularly to exchange information and support parent representatives on ETB boards. They work to promote the objectives of the organisation and offer a voice to parents and parents associations. So then the ETB obviously falls out from the wider educational and training boards, which are statutory authorities, and they have responsibility for education and training, youth work, and a range of other statutory functions. The ETBs, then they are responsible for the management and operation of, as you know, second level schools, further education, colleges, multi-faith community national schools, and a range of adult and further education centres, delivering education and training programs. And then their main functions would be to plan provision for educational services, ensure provision is economical, effective, and efficient. And then they adopt and submit educational plans and service plans. And in addition to that, then they would consult with Board of Management, students, parents, ETB staff, and other ETBs where appropriate. And then I suppose what we're here really to talk about tonight then is why parents associations. So tonight is really we're going to focus on parents associations and their function and how to deliver them in an effective manner, because really a parents association is a group of parents helping other parents. So in general, why a parents association? It gives parents at local and national level, in cooperation with the boards of management, principals and teachers, an opportunity to have their voices heard. An active parents association shows the students that parents are interested in their academic progress at school, but also in the development of the wider school as well. Parents will know more about the school if they're involved in a PA. They'll know the teachers, the principals. They'll have a relationship, and then any extracurricular activities that are taking place, you have a better understanding of what's happening in the wider school. And then also it's really important that if there are any problems such as bullying, drugs, or peer pressure, these can be discussed in a friendly atmosphere with parents, in conjunction and partnership approach with the principal or deputy principal, and they would be always expected to present for some of the time at these meetings and make a report. I know a really good example was there was a school and they were having difficulties with, say, older teenagers smoking at the front gates, and the first year students were coming back to the parents and saying, they felt intimidated or they found it difficult walking through the gates in that environment. It was intimidating. So this was a forum whereby the parents, the first year parents, were able to come together within the PA format, and they were able to discuss it with the principal and the deputy and make look at the bullying policy and consider what was the best solution. And they were able to, the plan was that a teacher was going to be on the gate. So if that forum wasn't in place, it could have become a much bigger problem. So it's just an example. And then meetings normally take place once a month during the school year, which, is quite, it's quite spread out as well. So then other reasons why your school needs a parents association is that all parents and guardians should be involved in providing input into all the policies and plans making at their school in such areas as the admissions policy, the discipline policy, the RSE policy, if it's a DESH school, the plans around that, general school development plans, if there's new buildings or new things happening or new sports areas or things, the uniform policy, and then if there's a critical incidents response plan. So the parents would have a say in that, and the Parents Association is a format that gives the parents a voice, the wider parents a voice within that. So you can see that it is a very important thing that's happening in our schools. And then with this in mind, with the importance that we've just talked about, it's really important to consider some guidelines for the Parents Association. So I suppose parents need help and support. Parents need help, support and information, which can be provided by the Parents Association. So the wider school, the PA provides that information to the wider school, to the peer parents, to keep them up to date and informed of things that are happening within the school that may be of benefit or important to them or to their children, specific to different years or things like that. Parents are stakeholders in the school and have to be consulted in all school policy reviews. So if there's anything happening or changing within the current policies within the schools, the schools have to consult with parents, and they do that through the Parents Association format. The partnership between parents and the school body must be seen as mutually beneficial and non-threatening. So that's what the PA provides. It provides that format where it's, discussions can take place about anything. There's no taboos. If it's, it's a format where it's non-threatening, it's literally to have a discussion and see what's happening and how you can work together, if parents can provide support or teachers, or if it's a collaboration of both. We have with the Parents Association, you have a high degree of trust. If there is trust and integrity between the parents, teachers and the school, everybody benefits. And I'm sure you've seen that in your own schools. When there is a good relationship between the principals, the deputies and the teachers, things flow smoother and it just creates a better atmosphere for everybody. Parents must be able to raise points of disagreement within the school in an organised manner, with, where they can, like in that situation, those first year parents, that would have been a difficult thing. Maybe they're first time parents within the secondary school system, and to bring that to the school might have been a little daunting. But in this format, it's much safer and more efficient. It's important to remember that, of course, the educational, technical and professional aspects of education belong to the teachers within the school, and that's kind of not our area. The parent body is a powerful group of the parent body is a powerful group in the education system, and the power of an organisation parent body can be effective in influencing relevant bodies, even governmental departments. We've seen that recently with COVID, and when the Leaving Cert was coming in, like the ETB schools, MPA would have fed back to the government in relation to whether they thought it should be the regular Leaving Cert or the predictive. So, the voices do go up that high and have the potential to be heard, and nobody expected things like that would have been happening. But to have these formats in place is really important for that going forward as well, and that parents' voices are heard in the educational system. So then there are obviously lots of practical ways we can cooperate with the school as a PA and as a parents association and work together. It's being aware of and supporting things like if there's literacy and numeracy plans taking place in the school, if there's competitions or if there's paired reading between older years and younger years, that the parents are supportive of that with their own children and then maybe helping out if necessary. Also, another one is assisting in the transition year students' projects, or if there's things happening or trips that parents associations members can get involved and be present and support those things. Introducing things like homework clubs, book rental schemes, really looking at the needs of the school and seeing where there is some where there's some gaps, and that's where the Parents Association can get involved. If there are things like concerts, drama nights, exhibitions, it's really valid and important for the PA, to be present, to show up, to take part in those things, to support the young people that's, putting a lot of effort into getting them things going. Same for sporting events or career nights, that people, that there's presence, encouraging other parents to go, maybe, coming together. And it's that thing of, the parents helping parents. If it's things like providing teas and coffees on the nights, or being available with parking, that kind of stuff, that there's a presence of the parents within the school community. Then, in addition to the practical ways, there are other things that we can do to promote the work of our parents' associations. So things like create a parents' association page within the school's own website. That can be done in conjunction with the principal and IT support, and maybe it's updated a little bit, or things like creating your own parents' association email, so that correspondence is directly sent to you, and you have the parents have a go-to place if there are concerns, or if they're thinking about joining, or if they have any specific questions. Another really good one is to be part of the first year parents introduction night and other events throughout the school year, that there is a parents association presence at it, to just keep it to the forefront of people's minds. Create an online newsletter whereby you can highlight the work that's done to date, if there's been fundraising that has impacted on new infrastructure or things in the school, and that you promote future events. And then also it's really important to consider an agreed report that can be emailed out to parents after the Parents Association meetings, even if parents aren't getting involved all the time. Some parents may come every second time, once, twice. Some parents are, might be dedicated to the cause, but if there is some correspondence after each Parents Association meeting, again, it reminds people that it's there, and it opens it up to new parents at different times, depending on the year or what's happening for them. And then, of course, in addition to the general monthly Parents Association meetings, you would be part of having an annual general meeting. So the annual general meeting is held, as I said, yearly, and all parents and guardians must be invited to attend. So an email would go out to everybody within the school, so not just PA members, but to the wider school, where people can attend if they wish. So the activities then for the AGM would be to hold elections for the Parents Association Committee. So that would be in the to hold elections. It's ideally yearly, but maybe it's sometimes people hold the positions for a maximum of 3 years. Nothing set in stone, but I suppose it's best practice to keep things fresh and moving, and create opportunities for new parents to step in and keep it up to date. Perhaps encourage then all parents and guardians to attend. It's also an opportunity for parents to meet other parents, especially if it's first time, people who have first time coming into the secondary school environment, or moved newly into the area, different things like that. It creates an opportunity for other parents to meet other parents who are wanting and willing to get involved a little bit more within the school. And then you would hear at the AGM reports from the chairpersons, the secretary, the treasurer, and then subcommittee or working groups if there was specific things in relation to like there was like funding happening, or there was talking about the book rental scheme, or things like that other parents have taken on, or just stuff that was happening in the wider school community. So that's really, I suppose, you have your monthly meetings around the school calendar, and then the AGM towards the end, like per each year. Then we go on to consider, I suppose, the role of the officers. And it's really important to say that the role of the officers, I think people can think that it's like a big thing and it's a lot to take on. But really, when, you know, being part of a parents' association, it's a group effort, it's a partnership, it's everybody working together, everybody has their little piece to do. But it isn't something that should be taking up huge amounts of your time. It's something that, you know, can be shared and supported with among the members. I suppose the chairperson then obviously is responsible for the conduct of the meetings. So they endeavour to let all viewpoints be heard and come to a clearly stated resolution. But, you know, we want the chairperson to ensure that everybody gets their voice heard on a matter. And where a matter is put to vote, the chairperson has the second and casting vote in the event of a tie, if a situation like that were to arise. But it's really supporting the parents to have their voices heard within the meeting setting. They're the contact person with the secretary of the Board of Management and the principal. They would consult with the secretary on agenda, and they support the secretary in relation to any matters that they need support with. The vice chairperson then, or the secretary, takes over the chairperson's duties if the chairperson is not available or away or sick or can't attend the meeting. So that would be up to them to take on that role. So then we move on there to the secretary. So the secretary is the person, again, who records the minutes. They inform the membership, the people who are involved, of forthcoming meetings and the agenda that's going to take place. And they write and receive correspondence on behalf of the association and bring all correspondence to the notice of the members. The chairperson and the secretary need to act and support each other and act on behalf of the association in between meetings if there's things that need to be addressed after each meeting. They liaise with school management, with the parent body and with the wider parent body as needs arise. And as well, it's important to mention that it's only minuted decisions taken and the record of whom is to act upon the decisions that need to be recorded. So it's not reams of paper. It's going to be more that it's it's a shorter, it's not as taxing. So then, sorry now, just move this. Yeah. So then we're going to move on to our next slide. So the role then of the treasurer. The treasurer operates the bank account on behalf of the association, and they are responsible for all the money received. They prepare a statement of accounts for each meeting and they present it at obviously at the AGM and at the individual meetings as well. And obviously the bank then needs a minimum of 2 signatories and no payment without invoices or receipts to just keep everything in line and as it should be. And I just got a question, so I just wanted, it's okay, sorry. Yeah, given just it's as well to mention that given GDPR, it's okay for the Parents Association to have access to, it is okay for the Parents Association to have access to emails, to the email contacts for all parents for communications, for the PA to have the wider parent body. If not, what is best recommended for reaching, you can, and we're going to talk about that at the end. What's best for reaching kind of the wider parent body as well is things like social media platforms like Instagram or Facebook or things like that. And they're all set up here as well. And I'll give you the handles at the end if you have direct questions that you want to link in with. Yeah, and they're okay. I suppose social media things are okay for general things like don't forget to come to the musical or that kind of stuff. But if it's for more important communications, it's, I suppose, to give that information via email or however the school distribute their information. Because you obviously don't want your information to be missed with the wider parent body. So it's just something to consider. How you use the different platforms and forms of communication. So the role then of the treasurer is, as said, sorry, go back there. Yeah, the treasurer. So then the effective meetings, I suppose, like any meeting you attend, it will have all parties well prepared. So, it might mean a phone call before the night before with your chairperson or with the secretary or whatever, to just make sure that things are online and that you know what you're saying and where it's going and you have the agenda tied up. All documentation for discussions are sent out 7 days in advance, because this gives the parents, like everybody knows, everybody I assume here is parents, and it gives the best 7 days. It gives a bit of notice for people to have a think, and maybe if there is something they want to be bringing up, that they can give advance notice to you so it can be added to the agenda. Everybody is aware of the need, purpose and objectives of the meeting, the 7 days before, and reminded about it then at the start of the meeting. Meetings start then on time and that they keep to the agenda. And if somebody adds something in and, there isn't enough time, that it's added to the next meeting, that it's added to that agenda. The meeting then is effectively managed by the chairperson, that if things get a bit heated, that we might need to take a few minutes and come back together, or we might have to agree to disagree, or if it is, something, a point that kind of agreement can't be reached on, that you do have time to, to kind of think about it and come back and maybe link in with the principal and come back later to the group about that, if things can get a bit difficult at times. But general effective meetings, it's about the organisation, everybody kind of sticking together, and it's a nice opportunity maybe as well to have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee and a bit of a chat at the end, if time allows, or if people if people are okay with that, because it is a social event as well in in the school calendar, and kind of keeping up to date with things. For a lot of parents, sometimes it's the only connection they have in with the school, because they're working or there's other things happening within the day-to-day. So what happens at the meeting then? It all ties back to what we talked about earlier. The policies, I suppose, are reviewed. So if there's anything new coming up, or if there's policies that's on the shelf gathering dust that haven't been looked at in a while, maybe you might be taking them down and having an overview of them, like I discussed with the smoking situation earlier. It prompted a review of the bullying policy and what was in place, and like looking at ideas and things. It's something that hadn't been considered before. So ideas are discussed. Parents have, there's a wealth of knowledge within the parent body. People have lots of different, they're coming from lots of different backgrounds, so they have lots of different things to offer. So it's a great opportunity to bring that in and to explore it and to kind of tease out some situations. Equally, information is shared. So if there's stuff coming up, it does go out in an email. Sometimes things are missed. Being part of the PA is where you get the rundown, maybe you see what's coming up within the school year, and it's an opportunity then again to plan. Activities are planned and things put in place, and decisions are made, hopefully. And then work is reviewed. So stuff that's happened in the previous meetings that we were waiting to kind of get clarity on, or movement, you're going to flag them again and make sure that there's a flow and a follow through with that. And then if there's any differences that are coming up, they're resolved. It might mean that the principal or the deputy principal comes in for the next meeting to discuss a particular issue, like if it's something around the uniform or toilets, or different things like that the parents can get some clarity around it and have a better understanding of what the school has in place and is doing. And then maybe if there's something that parents can support with, or if there's a different approach that needs to be taken, it provides an opportunity for that. Then minutes obviously are taken, and then they're shared afterwards. They're shared after with the wider with the Parents Association, maybe members who missed it as well. Sorry now. Next slide. Yeah. So how often should we meet? I've kind of touched on this. Associations meetings are usually held once a month. That's obviously that's best practice, I suppose, what you aim for. Sometimes things will happen, or you won't be able to get enough people together for a particular month, or there's stuff happening. I suppose it's it's within the group what makes sense for you. And then annual general meetings are once a year, generally September, October, when the school year is kicking off, to kind of put a plan in place. And then extraordinary general meetings, if there's an unusual situation, something happened in particular for the school, like a building issue, or something that was unforeseen, then this is really helpful, because it's an opportunity to call a PA, get the wider parent body involved, and then you just focus on that one item in relation to that at that time. Then fundraising, I suppose. Sometimes I think when people think of parents associations, they think, oh, that's like it's fundraising. Fundraising is not just the sole purpose of the Parents Association. It is part of it, but as we've seen tonight, there's a lot more that is happening. Fundraising for the school by the Parents Association will be done with prior agreement of the principal and of the Board of Management. The Parents Association and the school authority will agree as to the specific purpose for which the funds are being raised. So it'll be really clear about the purpose for if it's a trip, or if it's new sports equipment or something, that it's really clear about what it is that we're doing and how we're going to go about that. And then we'll use the forum of the Parents Association to kind of unpack that and put a plan in place. And the Parents Association then should maintain its own bank account as well, for transparency and accountability throughout as well. So then that brings us to the Constitution. So as each Parents Association is unique, so too will their Constitution. So it's like they're I suppose when you're drawing up your Constitution, you're going to consider things like, first and foremost, the ethos of the school that you're working in, or that you're working within. That's the most important, is to focus on the ethos of the school. Then you're considering the structure of the committee. How many people are there? Is it a big committee, or is it a smaller number? And that has to be taken into account. How the committee will be selected. So things like overall nominations, or will it be a number from each year in the school parents that will be considered. And then I suppose this is really healthy and important to revise and amend the Constitution every 5 years anyway. And obviously then, as part of the Constitution, it's really important to set the quorum. So that's like the minimum number of people that can be present at the meeting. 4 is a good guideline, but that will depend on the size, I suppose, of the committee. And it's something to be considered in the main. And the Constitution is obviously something that would be helpful to be reviewed, maybe at the AGMs, or to be highlighted if there's new members beginning the AGM at the beginning of the school year, that it's something that is developed with them, or that they're aware of and can have a look over. As well, yes, there's a Constitution as well, is available in the booklet, the Parents Association booklet that you would have received from the ETB Schools National Parents Association. They have a really detailed booklet with all this information is available in that. And they also have a draft constitution that's available that you can use. And I think it's not a problem if people want that to be emailed to them as well in draft format, so you can amend it yourself. I think it probably has been done, but if people want that done again, that's possible. What I am just going to have a little look here in the question and answer box, if you just bear with me for 1 second. Yeah, so I've said that about the Parent Association, that the booklets really outline the slides have generally been adapted from the booklet, so that's a good place to start. I suppose in relation to just a question, how to get parents to join and stuff. I think I think a really good starting point anyway is to have your presence, to consider what we've talked about tonight, have your presence known through things like, the first year when it's their nights that they're brought in. That's a really good starting point, that the parents, their first experience is that the PA is there and it's something that's active and that they can get involved in. And then it's about communication. The ETB schools NPA have like an active Instagram page and Facebook page, so it's something to consider in relation to your school. And then I suppose for more specific support around that, I think I would suggest that you link in specifically yourself with the Education and Training Board Schools National Parents Association. These are the details here, their handle for Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, and then the email obviously is direct contact. And I know that throughout the year they're going to be offering suggestions and guidelines for things like getting people involved and making people aware of the PA, how it can be helpful. I think one of the purposes of tonight was to that it is about, I'm going to go back to what I was saying, like parents helping parents, and that it's not this thing that has to be endured. It's it can be a nice experience that requires a small input or effort to achieve great things, as you can see, and you'll know yourself from parents associations that you've been involved in. I'm just looking now, sorry, another question. Yeah, no, said that as a school. If you have specific questions in relation to your type of school, in relation to different kind of things to consider in relation to like more nuanced stuff like religion or that kind of stuff, I think it would be best to link in, send an email specifically to the guys here at info@etbsnpa, and they would be able to give you kind of nuanced information in relation to that. Does that make sense? So I think we've covered everything in relation to our training. It's really, the takeaway from tonight, I think, is parents helping parents. It doesn't need to be a really difficult, taxing experience. It can be interactive and, dare I say, fun, and just an opportunity to support each other. And it provides that space for it bridges the gap between the parents and the school, and creates a forum whereby issues can be teased out and discussed in a partnership approach, in a collaborative way that keeps things ticking over and keeps the school environment as healthy and happy as it can be. So I hope tonight has been helpful. And if you've any questions, as I say, if I haven't answered anything, or if there's specific things that that are unique to your school, I would strongly advise that you link in directly with the ETB schools NPA, and they will be very happy to help you and give you more detailed information that's nuanced to you. So thank you very much for taking part or for sticking with us, and I wish you every success in your parents associations going forward, and hopefully this can be helpful, and maybe you could tell other parents that are on the PA or your friends, and they could join our next training, which will be out again shortly. Thank you very much to everybody.